Welcome, everybody, to Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. That is your good friend Jimbo right over there. We are here with you once again on a lovely Wednesday. This is June 25th, 2025. We're just about officially halfway through the fucking year. And I couldn't go through literally 10 seconds here without dropping an F-bomb. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everybody.
Well, you're inspired.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You know how it happens. You know what happens. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us here. Again, like I said, this is Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. That is Jimbo. If you want to help us out at all in any way, shape, or form, you can do that. You can do that three ways, absolutely free, by the way. You want to hit that like, share, and subscribe button right there in your face hole there on the YouTube where you're watching us. Whether you're on the computer, whether you're on your phone, those buttons are there. You hit the like button, helps us with the algorithm. That's a big help because at this point, nobody knows what the algorithm is. Even the big-time YouTubers are getting frustrated with YouTube because YouTube is kind of abandoning everybody and just kind of pushing the corporate channels and those things. So it's not a great time here on YouTube, especially to just be starting a channel like us, missing the boat by a fucking 10 years, the dummies that we are. But here, we've been doing this podcast for almost 10 years now, and we just got on YouTube last year. So there we go. Look at us, the smart guys. But anyway, hitting that like button, you can help us out tremendously. Also, if you want to go ahead and share us, hit that share button, gets more people to watch us, and more people hit the like button, and then they share us, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and next thing you know, we're PewDiePie, maybe. Maybe we're up there. I don't know. Although PewDiePie, here's another thing. YouTube's kind of... PewDiePie is not in the top 10 of YouTube, top YouTube subscribed channels. Wow. For the first time, I think they said in 10 or 15 years or something. So times are changing, folks. Times are changing. But you can help us by that. And, of course, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Get us to that 500 subscriber mark so that we can try to be monetized. How well that's going to do with the algorithm, with how YouTube does stuff now, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to make any money off of it. I'd still like to. This is fun. But I also don't have a job. I'm a bit of a loser. It is what it is. Can't get a radio job at too many places these days. They kind of had everything automated, so it's not great. But you can help by getting us those three things there: like, share, and subscribe. If, however, you want to help us out in a little bit more concrete fashion, a little bit more cash money, you can go ahead and do that. We have the links for our donation station and our merch store in the top of the chat. Chat's open, by the way. We see Hamster in there. Great to see you, Hamster. Nice seeing you. We got some news concerning something around him, about him, things that he likes. We'll maybe talk about that a little bit later as well. But yeah, chat is open. We have those links in the chat for the donation station and for the merch store. Donation station right now, current leader in the clubhouse still is Pecan. We're at 35 total donated dollars. You want to go ahead and get your name on the ticker below there. You go ahead and donate more than $35, get your name on there. However, we will accept any and all donations. Bits of string, you fucking got it. We like it. We will take anything. And of course, the merch store is right there. We've got shirts. Jimbo's wearing one right now, as you see. The More Tushin' for the Pushin' Eagle shirt we have there with kind of a little bit of a butt cheek on it. We're having fun here. That's what it is. Don't take yourself too seriously. We're having fun. If you want a little bit of an eagle butt cheek on your chest, we got that for you. You want an 8-bit helmet for you? We got that. You want any of that other stuff? We got it. We got mugs. We've got the shirts. We got hoodies. Because let's not forget, even though it's 100,000 million degrees right now, football season does take place in the fall and winter. You will need a hoodie. So we have those as well. We have coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Stay Tuned Sports Coffee. We have it right here. This is the Danny Dimes blend. I know I've been talking about getting another coffee out there for a while. Still working on it, but we will do it. It's in the coffee pipeline. Hold your horses. We will work it out. I'm still trying to listen. I'm trying to do 17 different things at once, and I'm a bit of a scatterbrain. I don't know if I'm actually ADHD or TISM or whatever it is, but I've got something where it's just everything all over the place. So not only is my mind like a bag of cats, but I'm trying to do 10 million different things as well. So it just all goes to shit. So, but anyway, yes, we have coffee. We have mugs to put the coffee in. We've got banners. We've got all that stuff there. So all of that, what do we got? We're what, 5 minutes into this? All I've done is plug shit. Let's stop plugging. Let's stop Well, no, let's not stop talking. Let's stop just talking about the plugging. And let's talk about some other shit that actually happened. Jimbo, how are you?
I'm here.
Oh, wow, that's not great.
I gave you a heads up earlier or yesterday or whatever that I'll be probably just making it as we go live. I was going to be coming in, as Katy Perry would say, like a wrecking ball. And
that was Miley Cyrus who sang that, but okay.
Well, I mean, Katy Perry was a wrecking ball too, so I mean.
Well, I mean, she was an interstellar wrecking ball, as it were. As we all can't be astronauts here.
Yeah,
it's not rocket science, Jimbo.
Or swimmers because she stepped in a puddle.
Okay. Anyway, yes. Continue.
But it's freaking hot out.
Oh, dude, it is so fucking bad.
To show you, like, I know I talk about my job, how hot it is in there and everything like that. I took a 1 liter jug of water in a Gatorade bottle.
Right.
I started work at 5 this morning, and by 9 it was piss warm. Like, that's how.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you can't. Yeah, not in this weather. You can't leave anything outside for. I literally went outside because I was inside and I was like, is one of my air conditioners not working? I was like, it's a little, because this house I live in is really bad. It's no insulation. The windows are terrible. In the winter, it gets freezing cold. In the summer, it's hot, whatever. So I was like, oh man, air conditioner's not working. Whatever. I stepped outside. It was literally like sticking your head in an oven. Yeah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Now, granted, I also live in the middle of a concrete, fucking heat sink here in a city, so that doesn't help either. But oh my god, I came back in and all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's refreshing. Okay, yeah, you know what, all of a sudden 84 degrees doesn't seem as hot when it's 1,000 million boiling your skin. So yeah, that's something. ELS in the chat, great to see you, brother. Got something I want to talk to you about too. Maybe we'll talk about it now. Maybe we'll talk about it later. I don't know. I do want to get to the crux of this, the headline of the episode, because again, last week I had a headline of the episode and we didn't get to it to the end of the show. So,
I'll keep you on track.
Yeah, good fucking luck. But yes, Aaron Rodgers. Now again, we waited so fucking long for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision on where he was going to go. Was he going to go to the Steelers? Was he going to retire? Was he going to surprise everybody and go to the Saints or Vikings or some shit like that? No, he went to the Steelers like we all knew, to the point that actually when he went, nobody gave a shit. Like I had a whole I had mentioned I had a breaking news thing for him, 3 months ago if he had done it. And then by the time he did, it was just like, I don't fucking care. Nobody else did. It was done all right. So he recently went on to the Pat McAfee show. In fact, just yesterday, and did a impromptu midsummer Aaron Rodgers Tuesday with Pat, and they had a bit of a conversation. Aaron had a lot to say about the paparazzi and the people interested in his personal life and his wife, which I think still remains nameless. Or I think he mentioned her name once on McAfee's show last year. But only a first name. We don't know anything else too much about her. I don't think we've ever seen her. She obviously doesn't want to be known. Is it a Manti Te'o situation? I don't know, but who knows? Maybe Aaron's just married to the game. I don't know. Be that as it may, one of the little tidbits of information that came out was Aaron Rodgers saying that, this probably is it for him in 2025. Aaron Rodgers saying that that's basically the reason why he only signed a 1-year deal with the Steelers, didn't feel the need to extend that or make it a bigger deal than it was, or try to put anything like on that, making people think, he's got multiple years or something like that. He's like, this feels like it is it for him. So we do have a poll question in the top of the chat. Question I'm going to bring to you right now, Jimbo, is first of all, your takeaway from Aaron Rodgers' comments on McAfee's show about this maybe being his last year. Do you think it will be his last year? If it isn't, will he be back with the Steelers next year, or will it be with somebody else? Or, like I said, that's a big if, but, if he does come back. And also, with it being his last year, do you think he can go out on top and win a Super Bowl? And please answer in any order that you feel is needed.
All right, so I'll take question number 798 that you gave me there. I had even before he signed, I kind of felt like he was no matter where he was going to sign, he was only going to play one more year, just because of originally with the Jets, I think it was a 2-year deal. So it felt like he only wanted to play 2 more years, period, whether it was the Jets or the Steelers. So I always felt like it was just going to be a 1 year and I'm out. I did not expect him to announce that this is it. This is going to be it. I thought maybe he'd play the season, give it 6 months, and then come out and be like, yeah, I'm done. I think this is it though, because just watching his body language when he said I'm a 20-year vet, that's been playing a long time. It's just signs of he's finally getting tired of the grind, if you want to call it that. And now if in fact he is married and everything like that, I don't blame him. I mean, you think about it, he wasn't married for all these years, so all he had was football. Football was his love, his girlfriend, or however you want to word it. Now that he has something special in his life, he wants to spend the rest of his life with that now. So I could see this definitely being the last year. No, I do not think they win the Super Bowl, and no, I don't think that changes it. Just because he announced that I'm one and done, it doesn't push that meter. Oh, yep, they're gonna win it. I think they make the playoffs. That's about it.
Okay.
I don't,
because you had said you had mentioned it before when we talked about Rodgers making it. By the way, ELS in the chat, Packer fan, not the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan. He was tired of his stuff up there, and of course, ELS in the chat says another episode of Fuck Rodgers. He's a dumbass man who is a weird man that needs to be put into a dungeon. Wow. We're
going medieval.
We need to put him on the rack, get the breast rippers on him, give him the pair of doom. Shame. Give it all. Oh my God. ELS. My goodness, my man.
Until Aaron signs out the 1-day contract for Green Bay, he's the greatest quarterback ever to play.
When you think about it, he's really a Hall of Famer. What a great guy. He gave us a lot of great years here in Green Bay. A little bit of one of those California hippie weirdos, but outside of that, real nice guy, But you did mention that somewhat when Rodgers signed with Pittsburgh. You said that you thought, the Steelers might make the playoffs, but they're not going to go anywhere. I was a little bit more optimistic. I said, to me, it feels like they'll at least get. I honestly do think they'll get to the AFC Championship anyway. Outside of that, I think it's a little bit much. But well, let me put it this way. I'm not guaranteeing that they're going there. That's not what I meant. I said I think they have the ability to do so if all the chips fall right.
Yeah.
So let me clarify that. I'm not saying it, blanket statement. Steelers are going to the AFC Championship game now they got Aaron Rodgers. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah. So I do honestly think this is it for him. It seems like he's been going more towards I just want to get in touch with my spirituality and God and nature and do all the drugs and spend time in my Malibu mansion that I built and, bang my presumably hot wife, I would imagine, considering some of his past acquaintances, as it were. Maybe you think she's like one of those hippie chicks?
Oh, definitely.
You know, where she's kind of got like the dreads, and she wears the brie.
Yeah, definitely.
He might be with a brie.
Maybe he's dating her.
No, just stop. I know it's a little bit inside. It's somebody me and Jimbo know. Lovely lady. Her name is Bree, but she is a little bit of a hippy dippy and enjoys the recreationals. Not just the fun, not just the marijuana, which is fine. I'm a cannabis fan myself, but she likes the other stuff and going to the raves and the electronica and peace, love, hair grease, all that kind of stuff. So just so we understand who we're talking about, and I'm sure everybody knows that has an idea of who we're talking about. Everybody has seen that kind of girl. No matter where you are, there's always the hippie girl somewhere. Which, God help me, I do have crush on hippie girls. It's weird. I do. I know they smell like patchouli, and they have armpit hair that you can braid. But damn, it's not about it. It's not about it. I don't know. But yeah, I do think that this is going to be the last ride for Rodgers, and it's here's the thing. I still think he's got a lot in the tank. I still think he's one of the best throwers in the league. I still think he's one of the most accurate throwers in the league. He's not mobile, but he never really was. So I'm not going to sit there and take that away from him. But I'll say this. I still think, however the Steelers go, is through the defense. Yes. So to me, it's not that Aaron Rodgers is inconsequential. It's that maybe he brings a stability to the offense and to the quarterback position that they haven't had since Big Ben retired, and something that they've been looking for. So again, I don't even think he needs to be great. I think he needs to be good. I think he needs to be efficient, and he has the ability to do that and also still be great. I still think he has that ability. He still has the ability to get the ball downfield and put it on a dime. Granted, he's got DK Metcalf to do that with.
Yeah.
So, maybe he can make some of the other receivers look good. I don't know. And again, I feel bad because I feel like I'm slighting the other Pittsburgh receivers, but the fact that I'm referring to them as the other Pittsburgh receivers, I'm sorry. It's unfortunately just what it is. But I still think no matter how Pittsburgh goes, I think it goes to their defense. So I feel like this is a nice little retirement tour for him. I mean, again, he starts off with the Jets on opening day at Old MetLife. Please don't tear a fucking Achilles or a knee or an ACL or fucking anything. God, can you fucking imagine that? And then we'd have to go through a whole other year of being like, well, he's not satisfied. This is not how he wanted to go out. So he's going to come back for another. Fuck off. And then they play Green Bay. They played Green Bay. I'm sorry. And I haven't even had any cannabis yet. But you make me paranoid every time you look off camera.
I got my TV over there, and
I know you look at it, and you said, and I see. But every time I'm trying to talk to you, and then I see you go look over, and I'm like, "Is there? Are you a hostage? Are you okay? Blink twice if you need help. Do you have a paper? Do we sign a like? You worry me. You scare me. But yeah, I know they have the Packers sometime this year. They got the Bears, the team that he owned forever. So there's that. So it actually it feels like a nice little retirement tour for him. And he's playing now for the team that he beat in his Super Bowl win. So it's really a full circle moment here for Aaron Rodgers. It feels like a perfect time. So I get it. I understand that. Yeah, like I and then I'll say this. No matter how it ends, what is your... Now, again, we know he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, not a question. He's a legendary quarterback. Numbers are what they are. His ability, his skill, unquestioned, anything like that. No matter what happens this year, Let's say he doesn't win a Super Bowl. Big shock. Steelers don't win the Super Bowl. He retires. What is Jimbo's take on Aaron Rodgers' legacy in the NFL? If he retires, no Super Bowl, no anything like that, just lose in the first round of the playoffs or lose in the divisional round, whatever it is, or doesn't make the playoffs or injured or whatever. What is your takeaway from the totality of the career of Aaron Rodgers, his legacy as an NFL quarterback?
Here's the one thing I hope doesn't happen. I hope that these past couple of years isn't what he's remembered as, like the off-season stuff. You know, the 3 days of darkness, the ayahuasca, or however you say it. Like he.
No, you got it. You got it right. That's good.
He is a Hall of Fame quarterback with Green Bay, with the Jets. He did it the best he could do with them, with how that team was ran, and Woody Johnson taking a soccer team now. Oh boy, buying a soccer team.
Not just a soccer team, the team that won the FA Cup this year by beating old Man City. So, I'm sorry, Crystal Palace fans.
I'm sure he's going to use the EA Sports FIFA game.
Yeah, you got to do those ratings for that one. Oh boy, Crystal Palace thought they were in trouble before. My God.
But his legacy should be like, I think he's a better quarterback than what he's given because of who was his receivers. You know, he never really had a legitimate number one.
I mean, you have Jordy Nelson, Lazard.
Lazard was, yeah, he's a one, but he's not like a dominant.
And
receiver, like
I would not be saying that about Jordy Nelson either. I think Jordy Nelson was an underrated receiver, an underrated talent here in the NFL, and I think honestly he gets more underrated because Aaron Rodgers was his quarterback, and so I think there's a couple things there. Did Aaron Rodgers make receivers better? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a question about that. I think he absolutely made receivers better. But by that token, I think it's unfair to the receivers to say, well, they were really good only because of Aaron Rodgers. You know, I think any of those receivers would have been good anywhere. Would they have been as good? That's a debatable question. And I'll leave that to, Skip Bayless or Shannon Sharp to talk about, or Joy Taylor.
She's, oh boy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I saw another article about her saying shit, and I was just like, oh well, she was talking shit on Caitlin Clark. That's what I went to say.
I was like, scroll.
Yeah, because I was about to get banned from Facebook for some of the shit I was about to say under that post. It's like, I got to be better. I have to be a better person. That's the thing. Now that we're doing this, Jimbo, we have to be better people. We can't just say all the things that come to our mind, as much as we would like to, and as much as it's probably deserved in her case. Yes. We're just going to move on. ELS in the chat, he's letting us know that Jordy Nelson was underrated indeed. He's one heck of a wide receiver. ELS also letting us know that the Packers need to beat the shit out of the Steelers when Rodgers goes up there. And one last point here from ELS. He says Rodgers' wife probably is just a genuine psychopath. So ELS with a great analysis and of that of Aaron. Listen, ELS is a Packers fan. He lives up in Wisconsin. He would know more. I mean, he's directly interacting. So, is it sour grapes? Is it an accurate description? I don't know, but I'll take his word for it.
Let me ask you something like a little side question here. We obviously see ELS's hate for Aaron Rodgers. Have you ever hated a Giants quarterback as much as he hates Aaron Rodgers?
Yes. Who? Doug Brown and Danny Cannell.
Why Danny Cannell?
He fucking sucked. Okay. He was atrocious. And we had just gotten over the Dave Brown era. And I was like, Danny Cannell. I was like, oh, thank God, anybody other than Dave Brown. And we had Danny Cannell. And this is what I mean. Like, people shit on Daniel Jones. I have seen some bad Giants quarterbacks. I have seen bad Giants quarterbacks, okay? I have seen them. I have lived through them. I have lived through those years. Daniel Jones was not one of those quarterbacks, and that's why I still root for the kid and want him to do very well out in Indianapolis. Comeback player of the year. Let's go, Daniel Jones.
There you go. Yeah.
B. Shep in the chat letting us know that Justin Fields is an elite NFL quarterback. I would normally laugh at that because I'm not a huge believer of that. But again, here I am defending Daniel Jones and then saying Justin Fields not one. But also, my old man, my father is somebody who absolutely believes that as well. He thinks Justin Fields is going to do really well with the Jets this year.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's an interesting take. Again, this brings up an earlier point that we've had in past episodes is not everybody's going to be a CJ Stroud. Not everybody's going to be a Jaden Daniels. It takes some of these guys a little bit of time to get going. You know, not everybody is an instantaneous success. Sometimes you do have to acclimate to the game. And that's why, like, I'm not yet ready. As much as I don't like Caleb for his cockiness and how he was in college and kind of his nonsense and everything that surrounds him, I'm not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater yet because, again, it was his first year. And I know people are going to say, well, look how well Jaden Daniels did. Yes, but nobody's the same. Every situation is different. Now, granted, Washington was very bad. The Bears were very bad. Yet, Washington, Jaden Daniels were able to do stuff and doing like that. But, if you even look back to last year, Justin Fields didn't play terribly when he was the starting quarterback for the Steelers. He wasn't benched because of bad play. He was benched because Russell Wilson was healed from his injuries, and they wanted to give him the shot. And for a while, that looked like it was going to work. And then at those last 5 games for the Steelers, which again, a lot of it is on Wilson and their inability to produce, but also, man, I don't know what happened to that Steelers defense last year, but if they do that again this year, like you can't do that. When that is how your team goes, is by your defense, and then your defense takes a shit the last 5 weeks of the year, can't have it. You can't do that.
Why I wonder if that's why Pittsburgh is like hesitant of signing TJ Watt. Say this year, they don't even make the playoffs. Do they blow up everything and trade TJ Watt away for, a houseboat of picks?
No, you don't know. TJ Watt is there for the whole. You do not. He's Big Ben. He's a Steeler for life, and if he's not, you fucked up. That's just the bottom line. B. Shep in the chat here says Justin Fields had the same passer rating as Patrick Mahomes last season. That is true, but as ELS kind of brings up in the chat as well, and I'll add my own little point there, Justin Fields didn't play the whole year, and by everybody's account, that was a down year for Mahomes. So, like trying to say that, well, he had the same passer rating as Mahomes. It's like, yeah, but Mahomes wasn't the best year for him already. And this is the thing. Last year we said Mahomes didn't have a great year. Travis Kelce didn't have a great year. The Chiefs defense played good, but could have been better. They didn't have any real receivers. They had a bunch of injuries, all that stuff, and they were 15-1.
Yeah, but
that's
what I've been saying all year.
And they made it to the Super Bowl. What's that?
They got lucky all regular season.
No, listen. I'm not saying, and again, we had this argument then about what's the difference between luck and, luck is just when preparation meets opportunity. And I think to that Broncos game where they blocked the last second field goal because they knew that Broncos lineman was always back on his heels, so they bummed rush him. They knew that. They watched the film. They had that, and they were able to go ahead and do that. Like, to me, that's not lucky. That's proper preparation and film gets you the win in a situation where you need it. But that's what I mean. When it doesn't matter, like lucky, you can't get that lucky that often. You can't get 15-1 lucky. 15-1 is not lucky. You can't be that lucky.
How some of those games ended?
No, you can't. And as much as you want it to be, you can't. And that's what I mean. Same thing, you know, and then on top of that, to go all the way to the Super Bowl, granted, luck ran out in the Super Bowl. If you want to say they were lucky all year, luck ran out in the fucking Super Bowl. But, so if they actually do well, if you've seen any of the footage of Travis Kelce down at Tight End University, he looks slimmer. He looks more fit. He's got a great fucking flow going. He's got that 90s hair that I had as a high school kid going on. Looks great. I wish I still had that. I saw my hair in the camera today. That's why I'm wearing a fucking hat. Because that bald spot was balding today, baby. It was right out there. I was like, fuck it. Not doing it. I'm not. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at it. Oh my God. Ah! I can't do it. I can't do it. That hair does not get you with Taylor Swift. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. But if they refocus, if Travis Kelce plays better and is in better shape and gets back to form here in year 13, if Mahomes dials in again, if they're able to go ahead and be that's the scary thought. Is the Chiefs had an off year last year and were 15-1 going into the last week of the season where they rested everybody. If they're better this year, what the fuck happened? Like that's what I mean. That's why it's still hard for me to think about the Chiefs as not being like the number one team in the NFL still going into this year, because they are still that team. You know what I mean? Yeah. They are still that team.
They have like the Patriot feeling, like the Patriots are going to win until they prove us wrong.
You kind of assume that the Chiefs are going to be who's going to play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. That's kind of the feeling you have. Is it going to be the Ravens? Is it going to be the Bills? Is somebody going to come up from nowhere, like, you know, the Steelers, or, you know, hey, maybe the Chargers at my number 11 pick? And remember, you know why I picked the Chargers at number 11? Because they felt like an 11. The deep analytics here on Stay Tuned Sports. B-Shep in the chat, he says, you give any average quarterback the weapons the Bears had last year and this year, and they are going to have an above average or an elite season. I don't think Caleb will have the same excuses. No. He doesn't. Like this is something you have to see growth this year from Caleb Williams. 1,000% you have to see growth from Caleb Williams this year. If you don't, then you have to start thinking maybe something's wrong. But again, I think back to Bryce Young with the Panthers. After his first year with the Panthers and the start of last year with the Panthers, everybody was like, guy's a fucking bust. They should have picked C.J. Stroud. Wrong guy. Just the worst thing ever. He gets benched for those 3 weeks or so where they had Dalton in, you know, the Red Rocket. And and then Bryce Young goes back in there. And holy shit, he looks like an NFL quarterback. Who would have thunk it? And then it's like you gave the kid a reset. You gave him time to sit down, take the pressure and anxiety off him. Just say, listen, absorb the game. Don't worry about going out there and performing. Don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about the crowd. Don't worry about sit in a film room, absorb the game, learn from this veteran, learn from the people around you, learn from your coaches, sit down and just take the game in. And sure enough, it looks like the Panthers have a guy that they can build around. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to some of these guys like Caleb, like Daniel Jones, which again, that unfortunately didn't have a chance to really work because the Giants were very much a mess and still are. And as much as I gave Shane kind of a pass on this past draft, because I think he did well in his past draft, honestly, I'll say it. Everything before this in his entire time with the Giants has been a clusterfuck, so this doesn't change anything as far as that goes. And people still talking about how they feel, oh, Brian Daboll's still a great coach. Brian Daboll he just doesn't have the pieces to work with. Granted, Shane hasn't given him a lot to work with, but I don't think Daboll's that great of a fucking coach. To have somebody with the athletic ability and talent that Daniel Jones has, which is not denied. You could sit there and bullshit about it and say, "Oh, he can't throw. He's a joke. He has the structure and build of a Josh Allen. He's got the ability to run. We saw in that year where he tripped over the 5-yard line before he got to the end zone.
Still love it.
That was the fastest run in the NFL by, I think they said, it might have been by anybody, or it might have been just by like a non-wide receiver or whatever. But still. Yeah, deceptive speed, as I always like to say about the white guys. But he was, like he has athletic ability and he had quarterback talent, and you still fucked it up, So I'm not convinced that Brian Daboll is some great quarterback guru just because he worked with Josh Allen. All right, I don't.
Yeah.
And now I'm already seeing people online saying, you know what? You know what I think the Giants should do? I think the Giants should cut Russell Wilson and start Jackson Dart. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Maybe as the season progresses, we'll see what happens, and maybe eventually you do. Maybe you chuck him in there, plug him in, see how the kid does. But I'm not willing to do that already. I like the kid. I love the pick. I think we might have a quarterback of the future, given some development time. But I'm not ready to do that right. I think it was Mark Schlereth I saw that, which, by the way, Mark Schlereth has some of... You think Skip Bayless takes are fucking bad. Stink has some stink fucking takes. He's not the best. I'll put that out there right now.
I was going to say that, his nickname was Stink when he was playing, and his takes are stinky. But then you said that.
Yeah, no, well, he's, it is what it is. But yeah, no, let's pause on that. Some other news breaking. I do believe it was yesterday. But let's take a look at this. I want to make sure I have this right, so I'm pulling up the article here. This is from everybody's favorite network, ESPN. An arbiter ruled in January that there was no collusion by NFL clubs in response to a grievance filed by the NFL Players Association in 2022 that alleged the league and its member clubs colluded to restrict or limit fully guaranteed player contracts in the wake of Deshaun Watson's record-splitting contract. On the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast published on January 14th, which had not been made public previously, on Tuesday. That's when all this came out. This is a very weirdly worded article. Contacted by ESPN, the NFLPA declined comment and the NFL did not respond to comment. Though Christopher Droney did not award any damages and dismissed the NFLPA's demand in its entirety, he found the NFLPA showed by a clear preponderance of the evidence that concerted action was contemplated and invited at the March 2022 owners' meeting. Droney cited clear evidence including emails from the league's management council and Commissioner Roger Goodell and presentation slides from a meeting with ownership in attendance that satisfied one of the three elements to determine whether collusion occurred. The other two, he did not find sufficient evidence to support that there was a concerted action contemplated and invited. There is little question that the NFL Management Council, with the blessing of the commissioner, encouraged all 32 NFL clubs to reduce guarantees in veterans' contracts at the March 22 annual owners meeting. Droney, who was the arbiter here, said. However, Droney wrote in a conclusion that the terms did not join in such a collusive agreement and did not act in accordance with one as the three quarterbacks named in the initial arbitration demand or other veteran players. The NFLPA initially initiated the system arbitration in October of 2022, shortly after three quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray, all had failed to successfully negotiate with their clubs for a fully guaranteed contract after the Browns set a new precedent by fully guaranteed Watson's $230 million contract in that March. So what this is basically saying is that while officially, by whatever legal definitions, there wasn't a collusion between the owners to block this, what this arbiter is saying is that not only does it seem like there was a conversation with owners to go ahead and not do that, but that it was also between the owners and the Players Association to stop it.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes you stop and think for a second. Like, now, granted, I'm glad there's not guaranteed contracts in the NFL. We saw what a disaster that was with Deshaun Watson. I know there's people who go, "You're defending a billionaires." Shut the fuck up. I'm defending sports and the continued greatness that is the NFL. So, eat shit. You know, these guys are still making a tremendous. Even the guys, even man 53 on some of these rosters, they're making a minimum, I think, of $720.
Yeah,
I think the minimum now is over $700K. So. Not bad take home. I mean, if you play in California, you're fucked, but, you know, or New Jersey. But other than that, I think you're fine. Still doing pretty good. But looking at it from that perspective, what's the point of a players' association or a players' union if you're working with the owners?
Yeah.
If you're going to do what the owners are asking you to do, I'm just confused by the whole situation here, Jimbo.
To me, like you got basically a lawyer as the head of the union there. Like, I understand how unions go, like how they work and stuff like that, but why not have a former player or a current player as the head of the Players Association? Because I'm pretty sure if owner A came to the head of the union and he was a former player or a current player and said, "Hey, tell your guys stop asking for guaranteed contracts." I bet they'd tell them, "Go pound sand." Like, I don't like having the lawyers as head of the union. Like, I understand why, because all the wording and stuff.
Well,
like
I mean,
that.
Goodell is a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's got a bar. Like, so it's like all of these guys are lawyers in some aspect or not.
But that is like that is really weird. I mean, honestly, there has to be a kickback or something for the head of the union. That's why he'd be working with them to try to, have the players not take fully guaranteed. I mean, that's the only explanation I could think of why they would work together.
I do love some of these quotes in here because they started trying to talk to some of the owners about if they colluded or not. Bidwell from the Cardinals, or not Bill, sorry, Michael, because Bill's dead. Arizona Cardinals owner Michael Bidwell, who would soon be entering negotiations with Kyler Murray's agent regarding the quarterback's extension, said he didn't remember specifics of any of the actual words from the presentation. Do you know what the definition of is? A little Bill Clinton answer there. New York Giants owner John Mara said, "Just the thought of me calling Jerry Jones or somebody and asking him not to guarantee Dak Prescott's contract or somebody else's contract, I mean, he would laugh at me, among other choice words, I'm sure. Just the whole notion is ridiculous." So, I mean, part of that is kind of true, too, like... So, because that's the other thing, too. Yeah, I would have thought Jerry Jones would have been the first one to do a guaranteed contract with somebody. Yeah, it really felt like that,
Yeah, and Dak, you would think Dak would have been the first one. Like, he was just in love with Dak before the big contract started to come through
right
for Prescott,
and before Dak's just started getting injured all over the place and not being as great as he had hoped. And again, I don't see a lot going right for. Wow, that was
whoa. Okay,
that was a little racist.
Remember, King, we're supposed to be better. We're supposed to do better here.
I don't know. Like, just because I have a lisp, all of a sudden now it's like, I don't see too much going right for the Dallas Cowboys. There we go. Jesus Christ. And we're not monetized yet, but we've already been pre-demonetized by YouTube. Yeah. Thank you very much. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. This is just a very poorly written article. It is on ESPN, so that kind of makes sense. Kaylin Collar was the writer there, so she can pound sand because she sucks at writing. And I'm usually a pretty good reader. I like to think of myself as fairly intelligent, not amoeba level intelligence. I'm not a super genius. I'm not fucking Oppenheimer or Einstein here or something.
No, you're kind of close.
But boy, that was something to read through. What else? I wanted to talk about something else today, and now I'm forgetting because, again, I have a bad brain. I'm sure the cannabis doesn't help with that.
NBA championship?
I did want to touch on that a little bit because we do have a new champion. By the way, and this is a point I've made long ago, was it always surprised me how homogenous the NBA champions were. Like, it was Celtics, Lakers. You had a sprinkling of Knicks early on. Bulls, obviously you had the 90s Bulls. And then from then you had like Spurs here. Miami Heat there. Then in the middle of the 2010s there, you had Golden State get a couple. Yeah. But now, for the first time in a 7-year stretch in NBA history, there have been 7 different champions in 7 years. For the first time, there has not been a repeat champion in 7 years in the NBA, which seems like a made-up stat. But it's crazy, and that's what I mean. Is like the NBA for so long just seemed like you would have just these swaths of teams winning back to back, or three-peats, or so like the Lakers at the turn of the century. You had the Lakers three-peat. You had then you had the Celtics get a couple there. You had like I mentioned, the Spurs, the Miami Heat there. The Warriors. Remember that there was that 4-year stretch where every NBA final was the Warriors and the Cavaliers for like 3-4 straight years. Yeah. Like it was just like fuck. Like who cares? This is terrible. So congratulations on the NBA for finally getting some parity. That's nice. Congratulations for you. Unfortunately, the team that I wanted to win did not win. I was rooting for the Pacers. Wanted to see them win. Simply for the fact that I don't like how the Thunder came into being by stealing the Sonics. I figured if you're going to steal a team, maybe do the Hornets because that was already there. After Katrina, they moved to OKC and played a couple seasons there, and then they were split in time. And then they finally moved back to New Orleans, and then they switched names, and then it was, you just could have moved the Hornets if that was going to be the case, but. They moved the Sonics, a team with a good history, wonderful color scheme. I love the green and gold, always did. So upset by that. Plus, Oklahoma is, outside of the tornadoes, there's really not much to do in Oklahoma. So it's just a bit of a crafty Southpaw in the chat. Great to see you, buddy. ELS with a bring back the Supersonics in the chat as well. If you want to join us in the chat, chat's open. Say hi, say hello, say how are you doing? Which they might. But who moved? Like, because I think if Seattle gets a team, it's going to be a team that moves. Who do you think moves?
Silver say a few. I think during the regular season he was on the Pat McAfee show, and I thought he said they were looking about expansion.
They can look at it, but will it happen? I know they're looking at. They were looking at Vegas, I know, and obviously Seattle's always going to be a market that they're going to look at now, and especially since the NHL moved in, they redid Key Arena and made it the Climate Pledge Arena now. So they got done what the Sonics couldn't do, which was again, it's basically a new arena. I think the roof is the only thing that is still there from the original arena, and even that was severely renovated. So that's basically a new arena there. Is that enough to get a team in? And here's the thing: would it be expansion? Because I think if it's expansion, you got to bring in 2 teams.
Yeah, no, I agree to that.
And if that's the case, okay, you bring in Seattle, who's going to be the other team? And if it's not going to be expansion, who are you relocating? What team is maybe not financially doing well or looking to be sold that you would think has a good chance to maybe move out there?
I mean, you just brought it up. I mean, New Orleans. It seems like every season they're not playing that well. They're always in the news about being just bad play on the court as well as in the front office. So I mean, New Orleans I think would be one of the front runners. Trying to think of some other team that might be. That's the only one that really pops in my head.
I don't know. Like Sacramento would have been on there if they didn't just get the new arena built there. So I think they're safe. Like you would look at maybe New Orleans is a possibility if they want to sell, but I don't know if they're going to sell or not. I don't know what their finances are, if they're losing money or not. Or if they've threatened anything. I know they're playing in a old arena. I know it's been renovated and they've done stuff to it, but it's still a fairly old arena there in the Smoothie King Center. So I'm not sure. Like I don't think Charlotte's moving again. They did too much to try to get the Bobcats, or when they got the Bobcats and then renamed the Bobcats the Hornets and doing that stuff. So I think Charlotte is there. So I when it comes to moving, I don't know. So I think it would have to be expansion. And if it is expansion, I would say probably Vegas would be the other team. It seems like the NBA really wants to get into there. And Vegas, there you go. In the span of, by the time they would get there, would probably be about 10 years. So in 10 years, we'll go from no teams to being a 3-team. And depending on what the Athletics do, if they ever get their fucking stadium built there, it would be a 4-team thing. But again, that's still up in the air. The Oakland, the Athletics moved out of Oakland, and we have no idea where they're going to fucking end up. They're playing in a minor league park in fucking Sacramento.
Wow.
And it's still like, oh, we'll be here for 3 years while they're constructing the one in Vegas. And it's like, will they? Will they though? Like, I don't know. So that's just a mess all over.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe they end up going to Portland. I have no idea. But Vegas is really now, once the Golden Knights, once the NHL went there and showed that you can do pro sports in Vegas, there's enough safe, guardrails and safety measures to make sure that, the gambling isn't a part of it. It's not, as mob run as it used to be. I'm sure the mob is still there. Let's be honest, the mob doesn't go away, but it's more palatable in the 2020s here now to have a team in Vegas than it was even just 20 years ago. So, I think that would be where you go. And I see here in the chat, Hamster is, again, very matter-of-factly saying expansion to Vegas and Seattle is coming to the NBA. Matter of fact, stamp it, it's done. He's a lot like this with the NHL because they're talking about it too, about whether they're going to be a team moved or if they're going to do an expansion to his home market there of Atlanta. He seems to be dead set that it's happening. And I think there's a good chance that it does. Yeah. I'm still not sure if it's going to be an expansion or a team that moves there. He's convinced that it's Atlanta and Houston expansion teams done. Put it in the books. Write it down. It's 100%. I'm not so sure. I'm telling him, like, hedge your bets a little bit because I bring up the point of Kansas City and Quebec. 2 cities built arenas with the promises of, we're going to get an NHL team. We're going to get an NBA team. In Kansas City's case, they thought they were getting both. And it turned out, I think because Kansas City, they were looking to get either the New Orleans Hornets or they were looking to get, I guess, Seattle at that point, either whoever, whatever team was going to move to OKC. Kansas City thought they were going to get them, and they were looking to get an NHL team. Which at that time I believe was they were looking to see if they can get the Thrashers, who ended up moving to Winnipeg. So they built beautiful arena. It was the Sprint Center at the time. I think it's now T-Mobile Center there in downtown Kansas City. Lovely arena, great place. Been around for 17 years. Still sits empty. There's no Kansas City NHL team and no Kansas City basketball team. Quebec built the Videotron Center. Big arena. Like, we're going to have an NHL team here. We build it, they will come. There's going to be one here. Here we go. It's je ne sais quoi, whatever the fuck the Frenchies up there say. That was going to be their whole thing. There is still no team back in Quebec. The Nordiques are not there. Much to the chagrin of many a French Canadian. Gary Bettman hates the Canadians, especially the Quebecois. Boo boo, Gary Bettman. Boo 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 boo. So because the point that Hamster brings up is that there appears to be an agreement in place to build an arena and entertainment complex on the outskirts of Atlanta, kind of like how the Braves did with their new stadium. Okay. So it's outside of the Atlanta metro, but right on the outside, right on the suburb area, kind of like where the Braves are. And they would have the whole shebang, the arena, businesses, restaurants, theaters. It would be a whole like beautiful entertainment complex. And there appears to be preliminary agreements and everything start putting shovels in dirt and let's start getting it going. Just because they're doing that doesn't mean that they're coming. And that's what I try to bring up with that. So it's like you have to temper until they release a sweater and a logo and a name, you have to temper expectations, because we've seen it before where it's like, oh, we're keeping a team, or we're doing that. Happened with the Nordiques. They released they had a new logo and a sweater that was coming out the next year, 1996. Get your Quebec Nordiques tickets now. And literally, I think it might have been 3 days after they had the sweater reveal and a new logo and buy your season tickets for the Quebec Nordiques, they were in Colorado, and they were the Colorado Avalanche. So it nothing matters until it's done.
Here's the only thing I'll say to that as a newer hockey fan, though. It's different times now, though. It seems like Gary Bettman has the NHL going in the right direction compared to in the past, where it was always the fourth best sport out of the four major sports.
Right.
And now Gary Bettman's got it up to, I think me and you both could agree, probably number two.
I like, here's the thing. From just where it stands, and I know ESPN would have you believe otherwise, but even if we looked at just how the fans' interest in the ratings and everything from this year, the NBA was bad this year. It was just bad. It was a bad product to watch. And for the whole year, people were talking about how, what do we do with the NBA ratings? Why is the NBA not doing well? Why is all that kind of stuff happening? Meanwhile, hockey was good. And a lot of that also comes from the Four Nations face-off they did instead of the All-Star game. That brought a lot of interest. They got a lot of eyes on the game. And that's what I mean, just the little things like that. I think back to the Winter Classic. No matter how mundane people think it is now, that was still a big thing. And it is still a big thing in my mind. That's a New Year's thing now. Now it's just part of it. If you didn't have the Winter Classic on New Year's now, it would seem weird. Yeah. To that point. So as much as I didn't like Gary Bettman when he first came in, and again, I was 10 years old when he took over. So it's I don't like Gary Bettman. He's bad. I think he hates the Devils. As we looked over the 33 years that he's been in charge of the NHL, the NHL has never been better, stronger. And again, they went through some shit. They had the lockout year where they lost an entire season. They had another lockout which almost cost us a whole other year. They had a lockout in 95. There was a lot of growing pains that the NHL has had to go through to get to where we are now. But I still give Gary Bettman his flowers. Now, granted, If I see him come out to present the trophy, I will boo him just because it's tradition. But when it comes to commissioners who have done the best good for their league, I don't think there's a commissioner that's done better than Bettman. Can he do better? I think so, especially with the marketing part of it. Like I told him, I think they need to get their hands and start headhunting some of the NFL marketing department and get them over to their side and start getting some of that stuff. But the NHL, for what they've had to work with and what they're doing, I think they've done well. And they are in a back and forth struggle, I think, with basketball for that number 2 spot in the North American sport landscape. Listen, the NFL is in an untouchable spot. The NFL is so untouchable. They went to Christmas, which was the NBA's domain, and just said, this is ours now. And the NBA could do nothing but sit in a cuck chair and watch. Sorry, boys. It's daddy's time. That's what they did. They cucked the NBA out of Christmas.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. But when it comes to that, I agree with you on that. I think Bettman has been maybe the best of the Big Four commissioners. Roger Goodell, I think there's been a lot of missteps, but here's the thing with the NFL is the NFL will make money in spite of itself simply because the game has gone through people saying that, oh, you're pussifying the league. It's flag football, this, that, and the other. There was the whole kneeling thing. There's, this is a league for racists. No, this is a league for people who hate America. I'm not watching it. I'm boycotting it. I'm not watching it. I'm boycotting it. All through that. And it still pulls in the highest numbers. It still has 98 of the 100 top rated shows every fucking year. It's like, it will make money despite itself. Roger Goodell could be a robot, which maybe he is, and they can make money despite themselves. That's just what it is. So, but for commissioners that are actively doing well for their league, I think Bettman is unquestionably maybe the tops. Adam Silver, not great with the NBA. Although I will say this, I like the updated Larry O'Brien trophy. I think it's nice, the rounder base, and now they put the names of the winners on the bottom. Very Stanley Cup-esque, but very nice. It's a nice change than just what it was. So I'll give him that. And I think we can all agree Rob Manfred is just a fucking disgrace.
Well, I'm just thinking now, like, do we relegate baseball out of there and just say, hey, we only got 3 major sports now? Like,
if the MLS wasn't so poorly run, I would say soccer is nipping on the heels of baseball. Baseball is so. Here's the thing, baseball to me has always been. Baseball's a hard watch on television anyway. I do like going to games. Like if you go to a baseball game, it's fucking great. Especially you get a nice night, have a couple beers, a couple dogs, sit and relax, watch, it's great. It's a nice pastoral game, as they say. Trying to watch it on TV is like trying to watch fleas fuck. Like I'd rather not. Like it's fucking terrible. But everything Manfred has done, except for the pitcher's clock, I will give him his one.
Yeah.
Pitcher's clock, fantastic. Should have been in there a while ago. But the whole ghost runner to start extra innings, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like there's and just calling their championship trophy a piece of metal.
Yeah.
If somebody ever called the Stanley Cup a piece of metal, you would have not only the legal right, but I would say the moral duty to physically harm that person. So, like, just he's done everything to diminish the sport of baseball, even worse than what it was. Baseball was kind of teetering as it was, and he's just kind of made it worse.
Yeah.
Baseball needs to be saved. Again, I love the pitcher's clock. I love the idea of robot umps. I think that is the next thing. I know they're going to the review system next year, which is kind of a half measure in my mind, I say, fuck that, go full robot ump. Because it's a case of the umpires being that bad.
Yeah.
All right, and say what you want, everything like that. The umpires in Major League Baseball may be the worst officiating crews, officials in sports. And that's saying something, because hockey officials aren't all that great, and you can make fun of NFL officials all you want, and NBA officials are gambling on the fucking shit. So yeah. They have an official called the extender in the playoffs because they know whenever he's doing it, you're getting another game. So.
And same thing with WNBA, especially with Caitlin Clark.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. Don't even fucking Joy Taylor and her fucking.
I was thinking about today,
big floppy tits talking about Caitlin Clark isn't Caitlin Clark if it's not for Angel. Shut the fuck up. What does Bricklayer McGee have to do with anything? Shut the fuck up. Which she has, usually because she's had her boss or co-host's dick in her mouth, but I wasn't gonna say it, but you had to bring it up again. So then I gotta talk about Joy Taylor being the office pass around there at Fox Sports.
You did good today. I mean, you
had to push me. You had to push me. You had to push me. So be that as it may. By the way, Crafty Southpaw, I did see your comment in there. And then that my boy Phil Simms getting a stadium named for him at his old alma mater in Kentucky, Morehead State. Getting it named after him. I wonder if he gets a statue or not either. But yeah, Phil Simms Stadium there at Morehead State. And I got to tell you, there's probably not a better alma mater name that you want to go to other than Morehead. That's championship quality. No wonder he had championship caliber to him. He was built different. Phil Simms built different at Morehead State.
Where are you guys going tonight? Morehead?
Going to Morehead, baby. We're getting good times. Good times.
Speaking of Crafty Southpaw, I just want to give him a quick shout out. I saw he made a comment underneath Chef Jim Bob's recent video. Chef Jim Bob did.
I did see that. I did see that.
That was a good one. I like that one. That was the mild sauce is as mild as
the Bills' defense, which we'll see. And well, here's the thing. We were quiet on the Bills last year. We didn't think at this time last year we're like, oh, Bills' window's closed. Bills ain't gonna do shit. Bills are bad. And then it's like, they were a short and curly away from making it to the Super Bowl. It's like, boy, just in case you didn't know the kind of in-depth analytics that you're getting here on Stay Tuned Sports. Yeah, that's what you're getting. Before the season, I had the Giants finishing 8-9 and second in the NFC East. I had the Bills not making the playoffs, and I had the Jets winning the division. I think I had the Jets in the AFC Championship game. Yeah. I had a lot of that.
I had the Bills not making the playoffs because DeMar Hamlin was their starting safety. And he
yes, you were like, oh, if your starting safety is DeMar Hamlin, my God. Meanwhile, he had like a career fucking year. It's like, yeah, no, he's like one of the best players there. By the way, I do want to say this now, and we're gonna put all other stuff out officially later. I wanted to get some of the people in chat though. First crack, first dibs. Since they've been with us, they're always with us, and I wanted to get them first crack. This actually was an idea brought up by Hamster, and I was like, man, you know what? Maybe we will. Maybe we'll do this. A Stay Tuned Sports Fantasy League. The Stay Tuned Football Union, the STFU, is going to be coming this year, and so there are very limited spots. Yes. So we already got me and Jimbo. Again, I want to make sure that some of the people here in the chat get it as well. I'm posting some of the links in here for them if they would do it, like Crafty, like Hamster, like ELS. I want to make sure they get in on it as well. We will also be opening it up once we get some of the people in there, or some people don't want to join or anything like that. I'll put it out to everybody else. I'll put it in some Discords and stuff like that, which, by the way, we do have a Discord, believe it or not. You can find the links in the chat and in the description below. It is fucking dead. There is nothing going on in there. But if you want to join in there and maybe get it livened up, please be my guest, because I don't know how to run a fucking Discord. Maybe somebody out there does, and they want to go ahead and handle that. Please, I will bless thee as the sports pope here to tell you to go ahead and run our Discord because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Jimbo doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with the Discord either. We're not Discord people. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I go into Discords and talk about other shit. So, but if you guys want to help us with that, that's fine. But eventually I'll do that. But something I'm going to open up to everybody, and it'll be basically unlimited when we do that. I'm also going to do a picks group, like kind of me and Jimbo have one with our group chat every year. We talked about it last year a lot. We're going to start a Stay Tuned Sports pick group, so you can go ahead and pick against me and Jimbo. When we do our Friday forecast, you can have your picks as well, and we'll keep track of how everybody's doing. And if last year's any indication, no matter how many people are in the group, I'm going to be on the fucking bottom. But we'll have that out there as well, so you guys can compete directly with me and Jimbo and show just how much more ball that you know than me and Jimbo do. Because, again, we don't know shit. Which has been pretty obvious with all of that. So for anybody to chat, I'm going to put that link in the chat right now. If you want to go ahead and look at joining for the fantasy football, that's fantastic. I will set up the picks group relatively soon, and I will get that out to all the social media that we have on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. You can't really link, so that's why I don't really do Instagram a ton when I do the when I do stuff, because you can't post links, you can't do anything like that. It's kind of a real pain in the dick. Like Instagram, come on. Join the 21st century. Get some links in there. But on all the social medias and everything like that, we will have that out there for you. And you can join. And like I said, join with me and Jimbo on our Friday forecast and essentially beat our ass. Here's the thing. There is no fee to join, but there is also no cash prize. There's nothing coming to you guys. We're poor. As we said, we're begging for money. We have a donation station. We have a merch store because I literally have 17 cents in my Chime account. So this is what we're dealing with. So this is strictly for bragging rights. Maybe at some point, if we get enough donations or I win the lottery or something, I'll get a nice trophy made and we'll have it sent out to whoever wins. That'll be cool. For both the fantasy football and for the picks group. If that happens, that's what I'm saying. So that's definitely not a guarantee. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, hey, you won, you beat us. Congratulations. But it'll be fun during the year, and look, we'll recap everything every week and talk about it, so it'll be fun if you guys want to go ahead and do that. So all that's getting set up right now. The Stay Tuned Football Union, the STFU, which is funny because your wife was like, did you do that? Did you do something on purpose? And I would never do such a thing. I would never do such a thing.
We're trying to be better.
We're better people than that. You know what I mean? I didn't just call Joy Taylor the office pass around. I didn't do that. Why would I do that? Because she's doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, and she only got her job because she's got fat tits and sucks dick under fucking desks.
That's why you need to join our Discord, because we're trying to be better here on YouTube.
Oh, dude, on the Discord, I would be fucking. That's terrible.
Gloves are off.
I'm just gonna be. It's just gonna be expletives and Taylor Swift pictures. That's exactly it. Which, by the way, did you see? She showed up at the Tight End University kind of get together. Did a little singing on stage. Everybody was going. All the guys. Listen, I don't want to hear shit from anybody. All the dudes, all the guys out there at Tight End University were losing their shit, going, shake it off, shake it off. I don't want to hear shit
that's what
of anybody
when
talking.
You're a paid actor.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. By the way, she looked real good. She had that little kind of like velour skirt on or something like that. She had them legs working. The legs were looking good. I'm just saying. Just saying. I love me some Taylor. Yeah. Other people talk about, this is terrible. This is terrible. There's Taylor Swift on the screen again. I'm tired of seeing Taylor Swift in my NFL. All you guys can eat a brick. I don't give a shit. I love seeing Taylor on my screen. I will forever love seeing Taylor on my screen. Taylor is the wallpaper on my computer. Maybe I'll post that and I'll show you guys. I'm telling you, I'm not fucking lying. Yeah, it's
that aspect of Taylor, I've embraced. I just sit back and laugh at the people that, like you said, oh, she's on my screen again. Now she's in the off season on my screen. I just sit back and laugh.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Come on, here's the other thing too. It's been so, like, what are you doing? Like, it's been so long. And then other people were bitching because she was at the hockey game. Oh, she's taking over hockey now too. I'm glad. You know why? Do you know why? Do you know why I was happy? Because that game got the highest fucking ratings in the Stanley Cup final. That's fucking why. Hey, Taylor, come watch more fucking hockey games. Come on. Jersey's got Prudential Center is a lovely arena.
Let's put the Taylor power to test.
Okay.
Have her show up to a baseball game.
People would watch.
If she shows up to a baseball game,
I think you get people
and
watching.
it's one of the higher rating baseball games, then she's got the power.
So I don't think it's a question. Like you're still trying to see if there's proof. I don't think there's not a question that she has the pull. She will pull, because again, it is kind of a cult. I'm not gonna lie. Like the Swifties, kind of there. You know, I get it. I live with a Swiftie, so I kind of have direct evidence. So as much as I do enjoy Taylor, both her looks and the substance of her, I think she's a very good songwriter, all that other kind of shit, blah, blah, blah. I know somebody out there right now is going, gay! I don't care. I don't care. You can say whatever you want. But also from the perspective of a rational person looking at the Swifties, a lot of Scientology in that. Lot of Jim Jones, People's Church kind of shit.
Kool-Aid.
A lot of Heaven's Gate. Yeah, I mean, it's, like, listen, I'm not going to lie. If Taylor Swift went out tomorrow and said, wear a bunch of Nikes and drink poisoned iced tea or whatever the hell they did, or the Kool-Aid like Jim Jones did. Yeah. More than a few would. I'm not saying they all would.
Yeah.
But more than a few definitely would. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's not a little weird. It is, but she could show up to curling and they would pull fucking million numbers. And you know me, I'm a curling guy. I love curling, but I understand not exactly the viewer powerhouse of sports. If she showed up to a curling event, they'd be there. They'd show up. I can't believe we did like an hour and a half.
I just looked over now, yeah.
On a week when there was really nothing. It just goes to show you we're getting better at bullshit.
Yeah.
We can bullshit pretty good. Listen, we're getting close to ESPN levels of bullshit. We can just bullshit and make up shit and fill time. That's what we do, baby. We're the Stephen A. Smiths, baby. Just without the money or success. Also, I don't think not as annoying, but that's, Yeah. That's for the audience to decide. That's for them. Jimbo, before we get the fuck out of here, do you have any final parting thoughts before we hit the old dusty trail? White people taco night in this house. I'm excited.
Yes. 2.5 weeks away from EA Sports NCAA coming out, and I'm torn. The one new feature of the game that I'm excited about is first time ever. 300 of the coaches are in the game, so I could play as Marcus Freeman. I did see Marcus Freeman in the game. That's myself. Cool. Right. I don't know what I want to do because I love Marcus Freeman as a coach.
Well, you've spent 30 plus years playing with yourself, so maybe go with Marcus Freeman for a little.
Yeah, maybe a little switch up.
Gotta go lefty every now and then. Keep it fresh.
I'm not Joy Taylor. I'm never.
I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the other feature that was in the new NCAA game, which I personally am very excited about? The Pop-Tart Bowl mascot is in the game. Yep. Let's go!
I'm already going through my head of, okay, I just gotta lose and win just the right amount of games to get to the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Nice. So yeah, again, I'm not a gamer. I don't have a system. I don't do anything like that. But if I did, I would be playing that game just to try to make the Pop-Tart Bowl. Pop-Tart Bowl. Like that's a key. I will get to the national championship in time. Yeah. For now, Pop-Tart Bowl me, baby. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching this bullshit edition of Stay Tuned Sports. It's been great. Listen, if you liked any part of this whatsoever, please go ahead, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It's a tremendous help, and we thank you so very much. Again, I people are going to say we're anti-women or we're going to be misogynist or anything like that. Listen, I'm sorry, we're not. I respect women. I have a massive amount of respect for the women out there and do their job and do it well. And have respect for themselves and their positions and what they do. I think we can all agree Joy Taylor is not one of them. Especially when you look at what she did, what she said, what she was going to do. to the people who she was acting inappropriately with, what she all around, not a good person. So
No.
I don't have to speak nicely about her just because she's a female. And I'm not going to. I'm going to hold her to the same standard that I would hold anybody else to. We still hold Ben Roethlisberger to the flame for his bathroom escapades, if you want to call it that. We still hold a lot of these other people.
Deshaun Watson.
Exactly. Groper Cleveland, as we like to call him.
Yeah.
We hold these people to those standards. That is why. So don't sit there and don't come at me. Don't come at Jimbo. Don't say, oh, you guys are that. Fuck you. Joy Taylor is a despicable, awful human being. And I feel that's a fine thing to say on record because the evidence backs that up. Okay.
Yeah.
If you liked any part of the show, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously. If you want to help us out in a way that's not free, if you want to help us with either a donation or a purchase, a link for our donation station and our merch store is in the links below. Also, join the Discord. Like I said, try to make something lively out of that place because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but it would be great. And as far as I think I just gave my last thought, so I will let that go and marinate. I'm not gonna see. I'm doing it again. I'm doing it. I don't know how to end the show. I just keep on fucking talking. I gotta shut the fuck up. Until next time, I'm your boy King. That is your good friend Jimbo. We will see you all later. Adios, everybody.